Good morning, everybody. Oh, not sure what that was. There we go. Okay, I'm going to change my view and we'll just give everybody a few moments to start jumping on. As you're coming through, just make sure that you keep yourselves on mute. Awesome, just so that we can hear everybody. That's awesome. We'll give everybody a few minutes to come through. I'm just going to pull this chat up here as well. Awesome, I can see everybody starting to come through now. Perfect. Let me know in the chat if everyone can hear and see me okay. My sound is all good. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Perfect. Can start to see lots of people coming through. Awesome. Yeah, all good. Okay, fab. Morning, everybody. Okay, so as people start to come through, so we'll go through the agenda for today. So today is a live coaching call, just as we would do every single week with my clients. So I've invited lots of them on to come and join today as well, so that we can answer your questions and not only just get my input, but get input from my clients and what they've been working on and what they have been achieving over the last 9 months, 10 months and the last year really, and how they can help you with your questions today as well. So let me know in the chat. I've also got a few that people have sent me. So let me know in the chat if you have a question today, and we'll come to you, and it might be the world's smallest thing that you're working on, or it might be quite a big question. So in the chat box, if you just pull the chat box up, and if everybody can pull the chat box up, and let me know in there if you have a question that you would like us all to help you and answer today. Awesome. I can see a few more people coming through, so we'll just also give everybody a moment. Awesome. Awesome. I can see a lot more coming through now. Give everybody a good few minutes. How is everybody? How's everybody's weekend? Oh, I can see lots of clients on as well. I'm going to change my view so I can see you all a little bit better. There we go. Okay, fab. So those that are just joining and just coming through, let me know in the chat box if you have a question today that you'd like myself to answer, and also depending on the question, I'll come to some of the clients that we've got joining today, and they'll be able to help you and support you and answer your question as well. Okay, so come on guys, this is the whole point of a coaching call, is to come on and get questions answered. So please don't be shy. It might be the world's smallest question, it might be something that you've struggled with for a little while, and we'll all be able to help you and get some input for that. Awesome. Can see a few more people coming through as well. Okay. Awesome. And change my view. Perfect. Chloe says her sound isn't working, but it is for everybody else, isn't it? You might need to leave and rejoin, Chloe, if you're struggling for sound, or just double check your settings. Okay, awesome. Right, so who's got the first question? Come on, we're going to put the pressure on, or I'm just going to come to you and unmute you. And you're going to be forced into a question. I know being the first is always not the best, is it? But come on, you've got an hour of my time that I can dive in and help you. Deb, let's come up to you. Do you want to unmute yourself for me, Deb?
Yeah, I just I haven't really had the time to look into our website and our software system. So I'm quite happy with our software system. However, it has grown and grown and grown and created that many add-ons that they actually charge for. So when you actually come up with an idea yourself, I think we were talking in our group chat about recommend a friend cards. We had some printed, and then other guys had said, well, what we do is we have a code, and so when somebody, you know, they send it out like a text message to every client, here's a recommend a friend code, give it to your friend. The code comes back with the friend, and then the bill is adjusted automatically, I think, but then the person that recommended, that's done manually. So I found our software company, and they're like, basically they can't do it for us because it's a conflict of interest for them to do that, because they have a whole package that I would have to buy into, that with their own gift cards and things like that. And I'm thinking, I kind of feel like they're in competition with us, what we're trying to do. They kind of almost want a piece of it. So it's having the time as well as everything else to kind of look into different software systems, which led me to look into our website, which is a whole new story. So I'm kind of wondering if anybody else knows about hosting websites and who should own the host of it, so that you're paying somebody to maintain your website, but really we're doing so much. We've learned so much ourselves on how to change things through the back door and control our website marketing, etc., changes of price lists, because it's all too everything's moving so fast all the time, and when you need to do it, you need to do it now, not like next week when the website guys get around to it. So you do take on these and upskill yourself, but then you think, what am I actually paying for? Because I've taught myself all the skills, but then who owns the email site and things like that? So if anyone's got any advice on what they do, it'd be great.
Awesome. So with mine, Deb, so I have mine hosted, and you know, like Rich hosts mine, and he does a security check, and I get a report on it once a month as well. So the report is, this traffic came from here, this traffic came from there, and I can kind of have a look, and that way you can do more of what's working and eliminate what's not working. He does a security check. So it might be that is really crucially what you're paying for, is that they are actually doing security checks in the background every 24 hours or whatever it is, right? And then, yes, like you say with mine, if I say, oh, Rich, can you change this to this or add this or blah, blah, blah. Now, for me, Rich is normally very, very fast. And he's like, done. And I'm like, awesome. But I know what you're saying. If it's a bit more of a job and it's going to happen in 2 weeks, sometimes, yes, it's quicker to do it yourself, isn't it? If you know how and you can just do it yourself. You should know where all of your email hosting and all of that stuff is, because for me, I bill that I pay that separately. So that's kind of under my control. So I could change that or do whatever. I think it would be worth you spending the time to have a look at your software system, because like you say, it's not great if they're saying that that's conflict of interest, because for you it's what's best for your business, not what's best for their business. So you can make a comparison between, right, if I moved software system and use this and this, that would actually be cheaper and I would get the functions that I want, rather than, and I think there's definitely one who I know is particularly naughty, that people then get these hidden costs. You know, obviously, like Deb is a client, so we go through KPIs, budget, benchmarks, and if you know it's a set amount per month, that's what you're budgeting and that's what's in your benchmark. So then when you get extra costs of, oh, now we've added this, now we've added this, it quickly becomes out of budget and benchmark, especially for something that, if it isn't getting you a return on investment, it's not worth spending that money. And if you're, like, for the example you've used, if your recommend a friend works better the way you're doing it, why should you have to buy into this thing that actually that isn't generating recommend a friends? What we're doing separately over here is already working.
Well, it's just another cost, you know, you're giving the money off the recommend a friend, and then you're paying somebody else to let you do it, and you just think, oh my gosh, you know. And with the website, guys, we we noticed that our copyright didn't say 2021, it said something like 2018, and I'm like, can you update it for us, guys? And they did, £160. And I'm like,
I think as
that's
well,
quite
when
expensive.
a hidden cost, like a hidden cost, like leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Like
It
if
does.
at the beginning they'd have said, look, we have this option, and you can do this and you can do that, and it was a bit more transparent, a bit more upfront, and a bit more open, then you'd have known that from the beginning. You could forecast it, and you wouldn't then be annoyed when it's come up later down the line.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a bit of a annoyance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think I kind of almost need a list of things that I need to know about with these things, because what we've learned working with you guys is all the things that I thought I could ignore and let somebody else do are all the things that I really need to be looking at. So yeah, could do with a little checklist, I think.
Yeah, and I think weigh up the pros and cons and weigh up the cost. And like I always say to you, with your marketing, measure the return on investment, because if that's already working, you don't need to be paying something else to get you the same or a lesser result.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, thanks for that, Jess.
Fab. Thank you, Deb. So I know that a lot of you have just come through, so I'm just going to recap the agenda for today. So today we are not just going through content. This is not just another live webinar that you just sit in and listen to, like content being kind of just thrown at you, right? This is for you to get involved, for you to get questions answered, for you to get hands-on support, right? So I want you to get involved as much as possible, because this is an hour that I can help you and dive deep into your business, and lots of clients on the call that are going to share their stories and their expertise and stuff with you as well. So if you have got a question, I want you to write in the chat, I have a question, and I will come to you and unmute you, and you can ask your question and I will give you some input. And if I think somebody else has some really great advice for you as well, I'll come to them and they can share with you as well. So don't be passive and don't just sit there and don't kind of really full grab this opportunity to get help and support in your business right now. So let me know in the chat if you have a question. I can see some coming through now. That's awesome. Okay, Sue, let's come to you and you can expand on your question a little bit more. And if everyone just makes sure that they keep themselves mute so we can hear everybody, that's awesome. Sue, let's come over to you. Do you want to unmute yourself for me, Sue? Sue Bristow. I'll say full names just so that we're, in case we've got a couple.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Sue. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I was just putting the question out there in the chat, really, to anyone who's thinking of joining. Do they actually know their numbers? Meaning, do they know their business costs, wages, and each treatment, how much that actually costs, so you can actually work out and know if you're earning a profit or making a loss? Because this was something when I joined you, February last year, I think it was. It's such an eye-opener, isn't it?
Tell me the difference, Sue, between before knowing your numbers and knowing them like you do now.
Well, you just know when you get people go, oh, that's expensive. I mean, I had someone phone up last week and it was a man and he likes lash lifts. And he went, how much is a lash lift? I said, £50. He said, wow, you've put your prices up. I said, yes, they went up last year, when was it? Last March, just before the lockdown, we put them up. He was like, wow. I mean, you would have thought I'd doubled the price. I'd put £5 on it. But it's just learning. I used to do a blow dry every Tuesday just to get people in the door. And I was making a loss. And as you know, Jess, I was using Treatwell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My God. You might as well just open your door and just let people come in for nothing.
Yeah, and that's one of the common things. I think that that's something that a lot of people don't realize, and Sue, you're not the only one. We have not worked with one client who, when we've done the numbers, has been making a loss on some treatments and services, right? I know there's a lot of you guys in the chat, so I want you to put in the chat for the clients that are on the call, if you did your numbers and you had treatments and services that were making a loss, put me in the chat, right? Because this is not uncommon. And like you just said, Sue, when you do the numbers and you go, oh shit, like I could, Louise, your top 3 services. So you think then, right, those for the last 10 years that I've done, all of the nails, I know somebody just put acrylics, right? Every single time I've done that treatment, I might as well have paid them £3, £5, £10 not to come in my salon, because they actually cost me to be there, right? And most people don't actually realize that, because they're not crafting their numbers with and their prices with any kind of structure, and they're just guessing what to charge people, right? So Sue, like, thank you for sharing as well. Before you did your numbers, how did you create your prices?
So I'd never had a salon before, and it was just going on what other people charged. I'm not a hairdresser either, so I didn't have a clue about hairdressing, and it was just by what the hairdressers come in and go, oh, you usually charge this for that, which is so wrong to think, I'll charge the same as the salon up the road, because they might be a smaller salon which are not VAT registered, for instance, and I am.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing, isn't it? We were talking about this at Creative Head yesterday, actually, backstage with a lot of other salon owners, and you see it in Facebook groups as well, don't you, where people are like, what do you charge for this? Like, no, because like you say, there are hundreds and hundreds of different variations between your salon, even the salon next door to you has completely different business costs. They might be VAT registered and you're not. There's just the stock costs, like every single item is just completely different. And even more so, go for it, Sue.
No, I was going to go on, you carry on, finish, even more so.
I was going to, even more so when it's like in a Facebook group and you think, well, Sue, you're in the middle of London and somebody else could be in the middle of Wales, right? Like your business costs couldn't be more extremely different. But yeah, go for it, Sue.
All I was going to say is another thing that we did before you was if you had gel manicure, gel nails with us, that's just gel polish, not acrylics or anything. If you come back in, you'd get a free soak off. I mean, I charged £10, and even charging £10, that's just covering all my costs, my wage, my business, and the service costs. I don't earn anything out of it. But obviously then they're going on to have another treatment. So all that £10 that I was giving away for like 3 years. And It was just like, well, why am I not making money? I just put money in, all my money into my business. Now I'm not.
Yeah, well, because the profit's starting to be there as well. So you've got that surplus to put into other areas as well. But no, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Sue. You're a star. Okay, let me scroll back up. Okay, so we've gone to oh, Sue's put a HR question. Right, so HR, the name and the number. Right, so it's Claire Hill, and you can also find it in our client Facebook group. So if you search Claire Hill in the Facebook group, Sue, you'll be able to find it. Did you want to, Susan, I'm going to call you Susan today because I've got Sue and Susan on. Susan, please, will you share your story? Because I think Susan's story is absolutely phenomenal. And I think that for a lot of people listening on the call, I think it will just massively help you. Go for it, Susan.
Okay, yes. Well, thank goodness I joined you, Jessica. I think I said, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I did stalk you a little bit, first of all, and me being me, thought, is it a con? And you didn't know you, and everything you were saying was incredible. I was the busiest fool in my business, and it was just incredible. I decided to join you, having had a fantastic conversation with one of your work colleagues, and I started on the programme, and it was incredible. Within 2 weeks, I totally knew I was doing so many things wrong. I didn't know how to change them. But as I worked through the programme, I literally altered all my timings with my staff. My staff utilisation was massive for me. I was literally, the girls were stretching the times. And when I did the profit equation, it was unbelievable how we were losing money. That I actually worked through the programme during lockdown, in the first lockdown. When we reopened, my staff actually said I was like a different person. It was like they were coming into a new business. I started to make money straight away by changing everything that you sort of implemented within the course. Since then, I had the opportunity to buy my building, and to be honest, if I hadn't have joined your programme, my accounts would never have shown the profit that they're showing now. And it took quite a few months to get this building under my belt because of COVID, and I had to keep showing my profit and what I was making, my accounts, my bank statements to the bank, because I'd changed everything and was now showing really good profit. I was able to buy the building, and now I own my building, 3 other businesses, and 5 flats, which are all in the courtyard. So for me, it's been a fantastic success story. I was only telling someone yesterday how it's completely changed my life. So yeah, absolutely amazing. So thanks, Jess.
The Grant Cardone property bugle. And this is the thing, right? I think that people feel initially, when there's a lot of changes to be made in your business, I think at first, and we get this on the calls, like obviously we have calls every single week with lots and lots of salon owners, and some people are like overwhelmed with the changes that they need to make, and they're like, I don't know where to start, like this is too much, like, and you get really overwhelmed, right? But the truth of it is, when you follow the steps, when you just implement them few tweaks and you plug those holes in your business as fast as possible, it is remarkable with that structure plan how fast everything can turn around. And that's really why I wanted to share your story, because I know, Susan, that if I said to you, what was it, just so March last year, so 12 months ago, right, in 12 months you're going to own 9 properties from your business. And I'll be honest with all of you, like even when we share Susan's story, we get people emailing back going, show me her accounts, you're full of bullshit. Right? Just because something isn't possible for you, or you don't see it as possible right now, doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means you have a mindset block to achieving those results, right? Because I know that if I'd have said that to Susan 12 months ago, she'd have been like, you're on crack. I'd just be happy to get my business to where I want it to be. I'd just be happy to like make some money, get a good profit margin. And obviously now Susan is more focused on like long-term wealth management, and that's where we want to get our clients to, where if she wants to retire tomorrow and the 5 apartments and the other 3 businesses and her salon are paying her an income that she could comfortably retire on or reinvest into other assets. So with that profit, she could go and buy stocks and shares and reinvest or put into her pension and then create more income, right? In our industry, we have such a bad money mindset, and people want to know how the rich get richer. That's how the rich get richer, because they just know where and how to put their money, right? They know to invest in assets. They know that they need to diversify their business. They know all of this stuff. And that's exactly what, as a result, Susan has managed to achieve. And you know, it is just a phenomenal sort of story. And today I don't want Susan to share that story to make me look anyway, because I want you to share that story because you've put the work in to get that result. You've come on the program, you've followed it step by step, you've implemented it, which is more important than anything. And you've got those results because of your hard work. And in the Facebook group, we're like celebrating everybody's success, and that is just absolutely phenomenal. So thank you for sharing that, Susan. You are amazing. Okay, so shall we come down to Lara has a question. Lara, do you want to unmute yourself for me?
Hello.
Hi, Lara. Do you want to
Hi.
shoot me your question?
I've got two questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So recently, I was thinking of you. I recently just booked to go to a bar. This is really random. And then got talking to the girl, and she was really lovely. She was an Irish girl, so sweet. Turns out there's like 8 girls in the office. And then as we got chatting, she said, oh, I think my business development manager would like to have a chat with you. So I said, yeah, let her, get her to call me, because I think this is a big live music venue. It's a bit of a chain, they've got them everywhere. And I was just wondering what type of collaboration I could do with them, because obviously I'm a beauty salon and this is like a live music venue. So
yeah. So Lara, tell your story, just to put it into your question into context, because you've also, I think that this will help everybody else, the collaborations that you've been achieving with your local businesses.
From obviously the program and speaking to you, I've been basically speaking to all the local businesses, so local printers, local restaurant people, anyone who's sort of like in a walking distance from where I am. And all of them have been really, really lovely. And I just said I want to do a prize draw, and I want to get everybody involved and help to get followers, help to get clients. I'm going to tag all the businesses in. So I've just been working on the actual landing page. I'm going to get that out this week. But what I realized is, because I'm not shy as a person, but I would be very shy to like go and talk to people. It's actually given me the confidence now to go out and actually speak to people. So that in itself is quite an achievement, because, people are willing to help. It's just coming across in the right way, and sort of talking to them as like coming together, rather than it's just about you and your company. So I thought that was pretty good. And so I really started to get to know people in my local area. So that's really nice. And this company that I want to work with, they're huge. They have thousands of people that come to their live music venue. And so potentially it could be good for them, it could be good for me. So I'm really thinking about how to do this and how to do it right. And I also thought about getting these girls into my salon and doing like some sort of events with my other clients, and doing like a promo day as well. Because I think that's the way forward, because at the moment, obviously some of the people aren't back to the offices yet. So I'm having to rely on the residents and the local businesses to bring business in. Because obviously central London is it's getting better, but it's still a bit slow.
Yeah, and your story's been amazing, Lara, because like you just said, you're in London, right? You obviously, a lot of your client base before was people who were working in all the offices in that area. And rather than just kind of be reactive and go, oh, everybody's gone, it was awesome, like, let's put in a new marketing strategy. And also one of the restaurants who do delivery, don't they? And this guy, you've got to know him, you've built a relationship, and he's now willing to put any of your paper marketing materials into his deliveries. So basically, Lara is getting free business promotion just from building that one relationship. And now he's happily going to put a flyer, which could be a recommend a friend, it could be a promotion. When I talk promotion and offers, I'm talking adding value, not discount. We don't do discount. So, he's going to freely go out and deliver them all to your local residents and area and help you to, because obviously what you've got to understand is that the more your business succeeds, the more other local businesses are going to succeed. And like Lara said, you're not going in going, what can you do for my business? But look, how can we collectively grow this high street? How can we work together? How can I help cross promote my clients into your restaurant and your restaurant clients into my business? Like, how can we help the area thrive and grow and recover, especially in cities like London, where a lot of people have gone back home or wherever, right? With your question about this particular event, definitely get the staff on board, because they're going to be the ones, you know, on the ground in the venue who are going to be talking and sharing, and they probably live locally as well because they work at this place. So definitely do that. And then think about what service, treatment or whatever could you offer the people going? Like, could you have people going in there and doing like festival hair and makeup at the event? Or, you know, how could you have like a pop-up at the event? So things like that, so that you have access to those people, but you're also offering something that they would want to purchase whilst they're there as well. So you're maximising that revenue.
Yeah, definitely. I'm having a meeting with this girl on Wednesday, so it's quite good we had a meeting today, because I was thinking I want to be a bit different. I want to maybe not, because obviously I don't know if they've collaborated with any beauty salons before, but I was thinking, you know, what would work for them as well, because it's all very well saying what I want, but actually it's got to work both ways. So I'm going to have a think about that and work out what's the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out then.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, it's the
freeze?
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Anything else, Lara?
This is sort of a long-term plan. So within the next, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, within the next year, my business partner's pulling out for health reasons. And so I need to work on a business plan to start on my own, which is a bit scary, but I'm sure I can do it. But I was just sort of wondering how to go about it, and obviously look for new premises and stuff like that. But could you give me some advice, please?
Yeah, so first of all, you need to thrash out what that person leaving looks like financially, and kind of so that you've got all of those numbers in your head, that you know what that is going to look like. So first and foremost, you can plan and cushion that in. And, you know, if they're expecting a payout or any of those things, that you can redo the numbers first, and kind of get the financials in order first before you make any other business decision, because any other business decision should come from those new numbers and what they look like.
Yeah, we're a bit different because we're two businesses under one roof. So we've always been like that, which is for us worked really well. But I just, obviously I'll be taking on my own rent and my own bills and my own business rates. So I guess that's where the change will be. And then obviously she wants to actually come and work for me 1 day a week, 2 days a week. So she's not leaving as such, but she's just not taking on responsibility. And so it's just trying to work out what I can afford, I guess.
Yeah, so okay, simple then. So what you need to do is go back to the beginning of week 2 for nailing the numbers, and redo week 2 and just inject them new numbers.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. Anything else, Laura?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
No worries, thank you. Okay, I'm just scrolling through. So, Claire Swinsker, I'm going to come down to you. Claire, if you can share, because you put in an amazing post if you possibly have it in front of you, because you really broke down the cost, if you've got your phone and you can read your post.
Well, I can find it. Let's have a look. Or I can try and just talk it through.
Yeah, go for it, because I think that will really help everybody what
Yeah.
you did. So let's start at the beginning, Claire. What was your net profit for March? It was March? No.
Okay. For April, yeah. So so going back before I started this program, I was working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, you know, trying to do absolutely everything in my business. I had all the motivation, all the drive, everything that I thought I needed to run a business. I watched every motivational speaker going, and I thought that by just watching, and don't get me wrong, I still watch every motivational, you know, video and book. But I had all this motivation and drive, and I felt, why is it not working? I'm working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I was completely and utterly exhausted. My to-do list was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I sort of lost control, and my business just wasn't working for me. So I realized that I hadn't created a business, I'd created a job for myself. I had, you know, so I was basically working more hours under the sun than I'd ever done before, and I wasn't making any money whatsoever. So, you know, when I joined the program, the biggest thing that I had fear of, which I said to you, was facing my fear of the financial side. I was absolutely petrified that I didn't know what I was going to discover, whether I was in a loss, you know, whether I had to register for VAT, all these things that everyone I think is scared of when they go into a business. Anyway, so I joined your program, and when I did the section on nailing the numbers, the bit that I feared the most, I actually discovered that I absolutely now love nailing the numbers. I broke everything down in my business, like everything. I broke down obviously the costs to understand how much it costs to run my business every single year, how much it costs to run my business a month, a week, and broke it right down to an hour, right down to 15 minutes. And this was such a huge eye-opener for me. Like it was like, you know, the thing that was missing in everything else that I was doing. So this then made me look at all my price lists. Now, what I was doing before, I was just literally stabbing in the dark. I was looking at salons around me, thinking, oh, they charge 40 quid a haircut, they charge 60, they charge 70. We'll just charge this amount, you know, and that's how I was pricing my price list. But after nailing the numbers, I then realized how much every single service, you know, what the profit margins are. And I was absolutely shocked. I think someone was saying earlier that I realized like nail soak-offs were an absolute, you know, loss of money. Things like certain hair treatments, which I thought were an easy seller, but I was actually losing money doing that. So anyway, so going back to that, I changed all my prices in my price list. And what that meant was that when we reopened, I was able to give all my staff a pay rise, which had a knock-on effect because they were motivated and driven. By changing their prices, it meant that they could hit their targets much, much quicker. So instead of having a team that were kind of dragging their feet, stretching out appointment times, all of a sudden they're like ramming in as many clients as they can. Before they wanted, you know, lunch breaks left, right, and center. Now they just want to keep working. So basically, after just doing this one part of the program, the nailing the numbers, I gave my staff a pay rise. They all earned commission within the first month of opening, hungry for bookings. The best part about it was that I could not believe, I had to do nailing the numbers at my profit and loss report 2 or 3 times to believe what I was seeing was real.
And I realised that I'd actually made a huge profit in first month of opening of 86% profit.
Net profit.
Net
I just want to make sure everybody understands the difference between net profit and gross profit, right? Don't ever look at your gross profit, it's irrelevant. Net profit, like cash in the bank, the bottom line that you can draw down and take out. Net profit is 86%.
I literally could not believe it. And it was just by making small changes, like simple things, because I broke everything down to understand how much one tiny pump of shampoo costs. Just realising.
Claire, you go to the extreme. Claire knows how much one foil costs.
One foil. But you know, just doing that, it made me understand everything so much more, that if they're doing 3 pumps or 4 pumps of shampoo, you know, that's like a couple of quid before the client's journey's even started. You know, just like nail wraps, you know, adding that up, I actually worked out that by changing my supply of nail wraps, I saved over £7,000 in 1 year. When I forecast for the future, I thought, wow, if I carry on doing this service, I'm going to lose £7,000 this year. So I now charge for nail soak-offs, you know, and even little things like I've now implemented simple things like when you're doing a colour regrowth, you don't mix up more than this amount of colour. Anything over that, we charge this much. Or like if your cut and blow dry takes an hour, this is how much it costs. If it's an hour and a half, this is how much it costs, which now means I'm completely in control of understanding everything in my business and financially, the financial side. And I've only just joined, obviously, not that long, the course, and just by this particular module that I did, it's transformed overnight my business, and even to the point of budgeting and understanding how to order my next lot of stock. It's a complete overnight, you know, changing experience. So yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and again, I think we just, to everybody like on the call, we just want to stress the importance of this stuff, because I know that, like you said, Claire, it's not something that a lot of people in our industry enjoy. You don't go, woo, I'm doing my numbers today, I'm so excited. For a lot of people, they go, I'm just going to go back on the salon floor because that's where I'm comfortable and that's where I know what I'm doing, and I don't want to look at the numbers, I don't like it, so I'm just not going to do it. But like you just said, the impact of those small tweaks, what they have on the bigger picture, the team, the business, like what you can reinvest that money back in now is just like phenomenal. And like over your business year, what you're going to have left in the pot at the end of the business year. So it's making sure that you understand why it's important. And you know, now more than ever, it's so crucial, which is why I wanted to share with everybody who's clients and who's not clients, like to know what's possible just by really focusing. If this just gives you that tiny bit of motivation to go and look at your numbers today and kind of start falling in love with the numbers, because you can turn it around so fast.
And the other thing you mentioned is like my to-do list was so humongous, because obviously I kept thinking, you know, I need to put training manuals together, I need to do this, that, the other, and if anything, those things were getting in the way. And when at the beginning of the program, when the nailing the numbers is almost the, you know, the first part of it, I thought, oh no, I'll do that later because I've got so many other things to do. But actually realizing that this is the absolute first thing you've got to do, to, you know, your business needs to make money and work for you rather than you working for your business. And also, you know, I'm not on the salon floor now 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I'm literally only doing 3 days a week with clients. And it now gives me the other 2 days a week to, you know, manage the business, train my team and work on the business, which is, it's a huge changing point. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. Like you say, it impacts not just the money you make, but your lifestyle now, like having that balance having that time, because if it's optimized and it's making more money, you don't need to be on the salon floor as much, because it can make money by itself. Thank you for sharing, Claire.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Yeah, I loved Claire's breakdown. It was just phenomenal when she shared it in the group, and Claire knows the foils. I'm sure she's all of her team now know. Right, Lorraine, okay, let's come to you. Where are you with your question? Let me find you. You might be on the second page. There you are. Do you want to unmute yourself for me, Lorraine, and you can ask your question. There we go. There we go. Go for it, Lorraine.
Oh, hi there. Wasn't planning on talking, but here you go. No, I've had my business for 13 years, and I am ashamed to say I've never really kind of crunched the figures too much. It's always just gone along nicely, but it hasn't now for the last 2 years, I'd say, before COVID. And I know that's something I need to do, but I kind of feel like the list of things I need to do is so vast that it's kind of overwhelming, as you were saying earlier. So it's kind of like where to begin.
Yeah. Okay, so the best place to begin is by looking at what all your monthly costs like, so you can start to break it down to what are my outgoings, and like Sue, yeah, awesome, you share if anyone else wants to share their input in the chat as well. So, and I think, like you said, it is something that you see then as such a big task that you then just avoid it, right? Because you're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know. Like, what you have to remember is it's not your fault that you don't know this stuff. Like, you've not been taught how to run a business. Most salon owners know hairdressing or beauty therapy, and then they open a business, and nobody really teaches you all of the business side of running a business. It's not, especially in our industry, money isn't something that we freely, openly talk about as an industry. And it's kind of like, you know, let me know in the chat if you agree with this or not, but it's kind of like in our industry, we promote this attitude of you should be in it for the creative, you should be in it because you want to make people feel amazing. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, everybody goes to work to earn money, and you should all be paying yourselves, your team, and earning amazing money from your businesses, because we aren't going to grow an industry, we aren't going to elevate an industry when we accept that we should have either no wages or shit wages, right? That's not going to help anybody. And that's why some of the young people don't want to come into our industry, because when they see that the salon owner's struggling, that's not giving them any kind of motivation or inspiration, right? So we need to make sure we're providing that motivation and that inspiration that they want to achieve, right? So the first thing is really diving deep into your money mindset, Lorraine, and understanding, why do I not enjoy the numbers? Why don't I feel comfortable? And really kind of grasping your...
Oh, hi there. You just called Beauty Fusion.
It's you, Laura. So that's one of the first things, is always looking at your money mindset. The second is going through all of your costings, like Claire's just shared with you. Like, you've just got to rip the band-aid off, right? And go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, so you know what the business is costing you a month, a week, a day, an hour, and breaking it all down. And hopefully some of these guys' stories will help you and inspire you to want to do it as well, because we know that a lot of people don't want to do it.
I am interested, you know, I love number crunching, but it's like, it's finding the time to kind of go back to the drawing board. And, you know, I was listening to Claire's comments, like, because that would really infuse me, like the hourly, the 15-minute, you know, what's costing me. My biggest problem at the moment is I feel very restricted with time. I've got 4 kids and 2 grandchildren who all live with me, and I'm actually, there's a massive pull to my home life, which kind of I feel, so it's kind of interesting, the family setup, how that's become a bigger issue for me, to align my business needs with my family needs, and the bigger pull is towards the family at the moment. And I know that if I don't go back to the business, it's just going to fall to the wayside.
Yeah, and I think this is where the important part is also making that shift of understanding that your role in your business is business owner, right? Not being on the floor, not being a service provider, because you're always going to hit a glass ceiling if you're the service provider. So your time, like you say, should be with your family or working on your business. That should be your top 2 priorities, because like what Claire's just shared, if she didn't want to be on the salon floor now, she wouldn't need to, because it would earn more than enough money without her. And that's where you want your business to get to, where you can focus on your family and running the business, like doing the numbers and all the things that are going to kind of really leverage the business. They're the 2 things that you should be a focus in your life, right? Do you work, how much do you work on?
No, I'm not actually a therapist. The business came my way through someone's death, basically, and I was asked to take over. So beauty isn't my background. However, I've kind of managed it, and when I'm there, I am receptionist. So I suppose I'm on the shop floor on a receptionist level.
Yeah.
But not, for me, I don't see that as a money-making role for me,
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think, and definitely if you do your numbers, you would probably work out that it would be more beneficial for you to maybe even have an apprentice on reception, right? That could also do your marketing, that could also do stock take, that could also do kind of admin time-consuming tasks that it takes you in the salon, so that you can remove yourself, because whether you're on reception or you're doing hair services or beauty services, you're still acting as a service provider, because you're still putting your time on the floor, right? Whatever activity it is doesn't matter, you still put your time on the floor, right? So go through the numbers and look, right, okay, if I had an apprentice, a marketing or admin apprentice that would cost me this much per month, but that would actually buy me 24 hours a week, right? Which then I could spend 12 hours a week working on my business, the rest of the time with my family, and I would have more time, which is what I want at the moment. That's number 1 priority. But number 2, if we optimize the numbers, it would make more money without me having to be there. And that's the other thing you want to think about is your business. If certain things take you time, it's not scalable, right? So you can't, and it's not passive. Another thing we like to talk about with clients is passive income, right? Where you don't have to be there or put in time for you to make money, right? So I would refocus on those things. Number 1, reducing your time off the floor so you can work on the business. And number 2, looking into, would that person actually, would having, let's say, a reception apprentice or marketing person, and you giving them all of those time-consuming jobs, would that actually be more beneficial to you and the business?
Yeah, something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And if everybody else, a few other people have put comments in the chat as well, Lorraine, so if you want to, and if anyone else has anything else they want to add for Lorraine as well, please do. Thank you, Lorraine. Is there anything else specific you wanted to ask?
No, I suppose, sorry, that's my phone ringing.
Sure.
No, other than I'm located in central London now, and our footfall for the area is down 70% on pre-COVID times. So there's, alongside this panic of being torn by family and business, there's also this panic of being torn to promote and constantly having to try and attract clients to the area, because we have our existing client base are working from home and it's not very residential where we are. So there's that feels more important at the moment than going back you know, and it's kind of been tricky, challenging for the last kind of couple of years in terms of finding clients. More things have opened up, more hotel kind of offering services that we offer. So I suppose the kind of immediate challenge does feel to kind of get to make up for those clients that aren't in the area and find these new clients. You know, where are they? How can I connect with them?
Yeah, so I think taking on what Lara said about building more local relationships, definitely, because like now she's got free marketing that's going to be delivered with the guy's restaurant to every single food delivery that he does, right? You can't beat that. Like, free marketing is just phenomenal, right? So one, build local relationships with other business owners so you can cross promote, help build each other's social media, cross promote clients, and all of those things as well. So definitely take on what Lara said there, because that will be a huge game changer, especially obviously, like I said earlier, if you're in those cities where you're relying on the working
commuters.
Yeah, absolutely. Fab. Thank you for sharing, Lorraine. That's awesome. Okay, I'm just going to go see who was next with a question. Okay, Charlene Collis. So we have some clients. Can't afford it. Okay, Charlene, where are you? There you are. Hi, Charlene. Do you want to go for it with your question?
Yeah, sorry, I think I missed when you were talking about discounts. So I did my pricing and we've made the most we ever have in the past 4 weeks of being open since we've actually reopened. So the pricing thing totally worked. But what we also did is gave them 20% off to book, to try something different, like a regular client, and introduced loyalty cards. So is that a bad thing to do? Because I jumped in and you were talking about discounts, and I've started to kind of backtrack because it's going to make holes in the diary again. But we had holes before.
Yeah, okay. So what you want to look at is you do want to be measuring your marketing and what's happening as a result. Because what you want to be looking at now is those clients who did get discount, are they rebooking and are they returning? Okay. Right? Because what you find with some discount clients is that they are hit and run clients. So they've come in, they've got the discount, then they're looking at the next salon that's got a discount, right? And that's personally why I don't believe in discounting, because I think it attracts the wrong client, right? Because you always risk attracting that hit and run client rather than that loyal client. And what I would personally do is offer stack instead of discount, which basically means add more value to your service or treatment instead of discounting. So let me give you an example, right? Like with Lara, she might create a flyer that then this guy's going to deliver out to every single delivery, right? And it might say, come in for a cut and finish and have a free conditioning treatment. Now she might go to the wholesalers and this conditioning treatment per like 50 mil, 25 mil costs her 25p, right? Then she can factor that into her cost. So it's not really costing her anything, but to the client, they see huge value in that, okay, right? And you can market it, call it hair repair rescue treatment or whatever you want to call it. And you can do the same with any of your treatments and services and think, how can I make this more desirable and add value to this client so that they, and a lot of restaurants do this where they're like, book a meal for, you know, a minimum of this many adults and and you get a free bottle of house wine, right? So think about how you can add value to your treatments and services rather than discount. And a lot of the time, it just kind of really makes that shift into you attracting a better client base.
Okay, so loyalty cards are no then. Because
I mean, you need to measure them and see how they're working. And the other reason, and this is to do with psychology, why I don't think a lot of offers work is because if you're giving 10% off, nobody sees the value of that 10%. Right?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is if I said to you, you go shopping and you're like, I've got 10% off these jeans, in your head, you don't register, oh, that means that I've got £7.25 off. So you don't really attach any value to that discount. Okay. But if I said to you, here's £10 off, you would immediately add more value because you understand and you have clarity of that offer. What I would personally do instead is, instead of saying, oh, you get loyalty, you get 10% off every treatment or service or whatever, is look at ways to almost like, you remember like the coffee stamp cards, on your 6th haircut, you'll get a free conditioning treatment or something like that, where they see more value to that service than discount.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
As well, what you've got to remember is if you're always discounting, and this is hopefully going to help everybody, if you're always discounting, why is anybody going to want to pay your full price? Okay, you think about DFS, right? Who in their right mind would walk in there and pay full price when you know that every weekend they have a sale on? You wouldn't, would you? You'd go, oh, I'm going to wait because next week they'll have a sale on, because you know that they always have a sale on. So people will start to think that about your business, and they'll be like, oh, she'll have a sale on next week, so I'll wait till then. And nobody will ever want to pay your full price.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much.
just think about that as well. Awesome. Thank you, Charlene. Okay, let me scroll. Okay, Stacey Bentley Evans, let's come to you. Where are you? You must be on my other screen. I've lost you. There you are. Ah, perfect. There you are. Hi, Stacey. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Good, good. Go for it with your question.
Okay, I've got a few staff. Obviously, I give them commission, but it's just working out the right commission. I tend to do 3 times a week plus 10%. And I think it was Sue that answered my question earlier as well. I'm not VAT registered, but it tends to never be enough for the staff. They always want more, as we all do. But it's just trying to work out what is the best formula to do, because, you know, any way I do it, it always tends to never be enough, but they don't always hit their target as well. So something to encourage them to make their commission, and how much do you reward them when you give them commission?
Okay, so let's break this down right to the beginning, because what Claire said will really help you with this as well. Because number one, when you do your numbers and you know the profit margin per treatment and service, what you quickly might realise is that these targets are not actually achievable for the team because of the prices, right? So meaning no matter how much they work, they're not going to hit the target because the prices are incorrect. The second thing you want to kind of troubleshoot, if you like, is if they are overstretching commercial time, the profit of that treatment has suddenly also massively been reduced. If not, it's now costing you money. So making sure that they're sticking to commercial time. The other thing is knowing your profit margin. You can't set a commission rate until you know your profit margin, right? And again, if everybody could share in the chat, because I know that everybody will have noticed this. So let's say, for example, you've said, right, your target is 3 times your wage plus 10%, and then what you make after that, we're going to give you 20% commission, right? Some of your treatments and services, what if you don't make 20% profit? And you're actually giving away more commission than you actually earn on that treatment or service. So that's where your commission also needs to come from. So with some of our clients, what they've done is massively profitable treatments or services the guys could actually earn more commission on those treatments and services, which then, because they're such high profit treatments and services, the team are now going to promote more of them treatments and services because they get more commission on those treatments and services. And that's also good if you're trying to niche, especially if you're beauty and at the minute you've got everything on your service menu, but you want to be known for facial and massage because that's a 60% profit margin, right? Well, now you could say to the team, on those treatments and services, you're going to get 30% commission because they are bigger, profitable treatments. So they're going to drive people to book more of those treatments and services. And naturally, your business will niche over time.
Yeah.
And then if you do nails or whatever, and you like, they make us no money, eventually they could fall off the menu because you won't be getting so many bookings. That's just an example. But the first port of call, if you like, is knowing the profit margin per treatment and service before you can set a commission rate, because that's another like hole in the bucket, if you like, where people will be losing money. Because I'm just going to scroll down because I know that some people will have definitely have had this, where they've realised doing the numbers, we only make 10% profit and we've actually paid the staff 20% commission, right? So you're giving out more than you actually earn. So that's the first thing that you need to look at, and making sure that the prices and the targets are actually achievable for your team.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Stacey. Lots to think about. Oh, let me scroll back up. Stacey, let's scroll down. Okay, Louise, I dropped from 6 to 2 days, spending time. Let me find, there was a new question in here and I have lost it. Rachel, there we are. How do you feel about having commission-based staff? Rachel, where are you? There you are. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? Do you want to share your question?
Yeah, so I'm actually in the process of opening a new salon. I'm actually out in Dubai. And here a lot of the salons just do commission only. So yeah, it's almost like a self-employed, but obviously then you have to, it's comfortable in a way that you're obviously not having set salaries to pay, and it's more motivation for them. But obviously the commission rate can majorly affect obviously the profitability because they're all on quite high commission rates.
Yeah, so this is where it doesn't matter if your team are employed or self-employed, but knowing your business costs, so how much, and because you're a new business, you need to start forecasting these and knowing how much does it cost you a month to be open, how much does it cost you a week, how much does it cost you a day, how much does it cost you an hour. So what you want to be focused on then is obviously they're going to set their own prices or whatever, right? But you need to make sure, because the one con, if you like, with self-employed or commission or whatever, that structure is that you have a glass ceiling on your income, right? Because obviously, let's say you have 5 people self-employed or commission-based or whatever, that what they each pay per day, per week, per month is your salary cap, if you like. That's your cap on your revenue, right? So what we need to make sure is that just in the same way, you are looking at, right, my business cost per day is £500. There's 5 people renting, so the business cost per day, just to open the door and close the door and break even, is £100 per person per day, right? Yeah. Then you want to factor in that, you know, you want to budget for things like a refurb, like repairs, maintenance. Make sure you've forecasted all those things in, like your business insurance, like all those things need to be in your business costs that you are forecasting, and you're also allowing a budget, because things are going to need repairing and replenishing over time. You might have a flood, right? You kind of just want to make sure You buffer in all of these things into your business. And then you might say, right, so ultimately it's going to cost me £150 per day per person, and I want to make a profit margin of 25% per person. And so my price is going to be X, right?
Yeah.
But that's not how most people work out their costs. They go, oh, it's £50 a day, right? Because they just make it up. So you need to make sure you're forecasting all of your business costs. You know how much that is going to cost you per day, and then that is what you're charging, plus a profit margin. Okay, I can't stress this enough. If you don't factor in profit into your prices, you're not going to make any. Right?
Yeah.
So you must factor in a profit margin if you want to make profit, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously you can go from there and kind of set up your terms and conditions and get them really nailed in your mind and forecast problems and make sure that you've got them in your terms and conditions as well. Like holiday, like what if they go on holiday? Do they still pay or do they not pay? Do they get so many holiday days per month out of, you know, all of those kind of forecasts, like COVID, right? If they can't get into the salon, you've still got to pay your rent. So do they still need to pay their rent? So forecast all those things and make sure you've got really rock solid terms and conditions from day one. And don't be shy about it. Like read through the terms and conditions with them and say, this means this, this means this. Like we all have contracts of employment, and for us and for our teams sometimes you read it and you think it might as well be in French, right? Because nobody understands what it actually means. So sit with your team or with your commission staff and say, right, this means this. So you're really managing their expectations, super clear from day one, because then you're eliminating any problems in the future.
Yeah, makes sense.
Awesome. Anything else, Rachel?
Yeah. No, that's it. Thank you so much.
Fab, thank you. Awesome question. Okay, we'll start to round off because I know that I literally could be here all day long answering all your questions. Okay, fab. Let me know if anyone else has got any other questions, and I'm just going to round up. I'm just going to share, which this is frozen a little bit, but can everybody see my screen? Let me know what you can see. Yeah, okay, awesome. My presentation has frozen, so I can't zoom in on it. But if you have found value from today and what everybody has shared with you, we do a weekly coaching call with all of our clients exactly like this. So I wanted you to experience exactly what our weekly coaching calls are like. We come to you, zoom in, answer your questions and give you all the help and support with everybody. So in my Instagram bio, which is Jessica Crane SISS, you can check out a brand new book, Salon Boss Mindset Mastery, and also the Systemize for Success program, which is what all of the clients that have joined us today are all a part of. So they get weekly live coaching call just like this every single week. All of the content, the nailing numbers, marketing, absolutely everything. And if you go to the link in the bio, there's actually a breakdown of everything that is included in the Systemize for Success program. And if you scroll and you'll see a lot of these guys in their video testimonials and sharing their amazing stories as well. And there's also an option there, just like Sue mentioned, you can book a free 50-minute business consultation with my team so that they can go through in much more depth, like exactly where your business is right now, all of the goals and everything, aspirations that you have for your business, what is stopping you from achieving those goals and those aspirations right now, and how we can help you to get there as fast as possible. So if you want to check out my Instagram bio, and you'll find all of the link in the bio, and you'll be able to go and grab the mindset book or have a look at the Systemize for Success coaching program, and book a free 50-minute business consultation with one of my team. I'm just going to put that in here. Jessica Crane, Salon Success. There we go. That's the Instagram handle. Okay. I've just got a few more. Morale, I just want to say thank you before I joined. Awesome. Listening to the free, oh yeah, so Morale, I used to get along with just watching the free content because Jess likes to give so much value for free, like the call today. However, the program is just the next level, and everything has helped me so much. And the Facebook group, yes, we love the Facebook group, and we want all of you to be in our Facebook group every day. Awesome, thank you, totally. Yeah, Claire, I thought I could go this alone. Definitely. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. I just want to say to everybody joining, thank you for joining me for this hour. It's been absolutely great to speak to you all. I hope it's a nice change from like webinars and all of that. I think we're all a bit webinared out. So to do a bit more of a live interactive coaching call, something a little bit different. Definitely go and book your free 50-minute business call because you'll find that so valuable in itself. Thank you again, everybody, for joining me, and hopefully we'll see some of you on the calls soon. To everybody else, to my clients, thank you for joining us today and for your amazing input and sharing your stories. I know for some of you, you would have been a little bit, so thank you for that, and I will see you all on our coaching call. So thank you, everybody, and I'll see you all soon.